So I guess I should start by tipping my cap to you on planning all this because I think, first of all, it was a very nice move. Dan Big Cat Katz is with me. Very nice of you to agree to come co-host this show with me. And it had me thinking for a few minutes, wow, Dan's a really nice guy. But then I really respect the move of last minute changing times just to kind of show me, hey, you blind fuck. I may be a nice guy, but let's not forget who the star is. Is that what that move's about?
That move, no. Actually, I'll totally explain that move. Thank you for having me on, Mike. I actually just thought of this hilarious joke to start. I'm used to doing a podcast with a guy who's wearing sunglasses, so this is old hat for me. Not a very funny joke, I realize that.
I'm glad you said you just thought it.
I just thought of that. No. So to be totally honest with you, it's actually one of my biggest weaknesses is that I like to when I have a lot of things going on, when I'm busy, I like to pile everything into one like little stretch where I'm like, I'll just suck it up. I'll just fucking do all this stuff right at the same time. So the original plan was I was like, hey, Mike, the Blackhawks are on at 10:30. Let's do a podcast while I watch the Blackhawks. And then I realized, what am I doing? I'm not going to be even like I'm half asleep at 10:30. I'm going to be watching the Blackhawks with one eye open. I'm not doing a podcast at 10:30. So that's why I moved the time. But I'm happy to be here. I will say not to make Kirk's mental health about me, but I did text him and he never texted me back. So I just want that on the record.
This won't possibly make you feel better. It might make you feel a little worse, but he didn't text me back either.
I expected him not to text you back after
you're kind of in the same category.
Right. So
I went back and looked. Will you grade the text I sent him?
Yes, please.
I believe the response that I had was he told us, he's going to be out for a while and it's worse than he's ever gotten. Blah, blah, blah. The old jabber.
Right.
And I believe I said, had no idea. Take as long as you need. Damn, I can't remember the last line. It was a very similar cadence to good luck, take care of yourself, hope all is well.
Yeah,
but I shook it up a little.
Take as long as you need. If I were in Kirk's shoes, I would
kind of like I'm saying, hey, don't worry, kid.
Come back when you need to. I'd be like, what the fuck? Like if Billy Football, I mean, you're higher than Billy Football in the Kirk Minahan world. Maybe not. Maybe you guys are right around the same spot. Yeah. But if Billy was like, hey, Big Cat, come back whenever you need to, I'd be like, who the fuck are you, dude?
Yeah, again, I did not really realize that. Maybe I should send him a follow-up and say, hey, just so you know, you mean a lot to me. You think that'll be better?
Yeah, you also, just like point of personal preference, like you have an Android, you texting me with your green bubbles, like I just hate that shit. So
right. So another reason for you,
Yeah, so that, like, just alone, you could just you could text him, hey, Kirk, I just found $10 million and I want to split it with you. Or you texted me that, I'd be like, Mike, I don't want to text with an Android anymore. Please leave me alone.
Well, to be fair, Kirk also, for $5 million, would rather just get no texts from me ever again. So that's right. It's a tough spot that I'm in.
So wait, how are you guys doing? I saw that you tweeted something to the haters, basically being like, we're not going to do the regular show on the regular feed. Do you think that that's a mistake? Have you had any feedback from Kirk? Has he told you anything? Like, because I mean, I listen. I'm a regular listener, and I listen to you and Steve just chopping it up for 10 minutes. I thought that was like, if you guys did that once a week, I don't think. Yeah. I think the Kirk Minahan and the Minifans would enjoy that, and if they don't, who cares? They don't have to listen.
Right. Yeah. I'm glad you said that because I was curious your opinion about it. So, yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, Turtle Boy was a blogger around here, a friend of the show, I guess you'd say. But he was kind of coming at us today, and a few other people have complained that there's been no content on the RSS feed. It was just the one update on Monday that me and Steve did. And I think people seem to think that me and Steve should do an hour a day.
No. Definitely not.
I definitely think – so my logic is with not doing like a regular show like that, like weekly updates – I think would be perfectly fine. And I think that was kind of the plan from what Steve said. I haven't talked to Kirk about it, only Steve has. And the vibe that I got was Kirk was kind of like, do whatever you guys want. But I think the logic was that me and Steve on the RSS feed is not what the subscribers are looking for. It's not what the advertisers are looking for. It's certainly not what Barstool's looking for. So why would we be doing it every day some watered down show, the Kirk Minahan show without Kirk Minahan.
Look, the way I've always thought of it is like, and obviously these are different circumstances, but the way I've treated my own career is that constantly being in touch with the fans is very, very important, and not taking any time off. This is not obviously talking about Kirk because that's different, but I'm talking about you guys staying in touch with the fans, having that like you can touch them, they know what's happening. Just feeling like they're in the loop and there's an ongoing conversation is always important to me personally. Like if I haven't done anything for a few days, if I haven't, done a podcast or radio show, like when we took the week off July 4th and I wasn't doing a radio show every day and we had a best of podcast. After 2 days, I start to get an itch, and I'm like, I want to talk to people. I want to talk to people about what's going on. So I think that's important. I think it all comes down to Kirk, though. If he doesn't want you guys to do it, and I'm not saying one way or the other, that would be the question. Is if he's cool with it, I think you guys should do it once a week. And think of it this way, Mike. It's actually a benefit to Kirk because you have to believe that if you and Steve do a show once a week for, let's say, 2 hours, when Kirk comes back, and hopefully that's sooner than later, he has a built-up first show where he can just rip you guys to shreds with the sound of your own. He's going to make Steve Steve eat his own vomit. Like he's going to make Steve cut up sound of himself and then just rip you guys to shreds. So I think that's almost a present to Kirk when he does come back, being like, here you go. Here's the Blind Mike and Steve Robinson show. Go ahead, have at it, just rip it to shreds.
That is definitely a big win. I think the issue is, so I've been doing a show pretty much every day just on YouTube with different stupid shows. My thing is, like specifically the guy that I responded to was complaining that we didn't get into this Monica Cannon Grant story, who's some political advisor in the Boston area. And my thing is, if I take Kirk's place on that,
you can't.
It sounds completely phony. Or if Steve's trying to do it, Steve's a more serious political guy than Kirk would ever be. So then it's us trying to take things Kirk would do and doing just a watered down version of it.
Totally agree. You have to be yourself. But you have to talk. I mean, I'm sure you have a million shows. I'm sure you have things that you'd love to talk about. So right. I think that it's just doing a show that here's what I want to talk about. And like I said, I mean, if people don't want to listen, they don't have to listen. But I think just having that touch point with your fan base constantly is very important. And it's weird because it's obviously very different circumstances, and we want Kirk to get better. But I do think being in touch with everyone once a week is important.
Yeah. Well, speaking of watered down KMS products, I have to address this 24-hour live stream you guys did. Mm-hmm. Now, I'll admit, I think you were in the room and you may have batted some ideas around when we were discussing breaking the world record down in Miami at the Super Bowl. We said the Kirk Minahan show was going to break a record. And I think you guys waited him out and said, oh, Kirky's got a case of the gloomies. Now's the time to strike, and we're going to steal this idea from him. So now it looks silly if we try it.
No, because listen, the idea, as I remember it, and I'm still in to participate in that one, is it's a podcast record. The 24-hour live stream that we did, it wasn't a podcast. It was just a live stream on Twitch. And there were times when, like, I wasn't on screen. You know what I mean? I'd go take a shit. Or we did a couple of interviews during the live stream. Whatever it may be, there were times when pieces of the crew were, split up. So I think the podcast record is still out there for the taking. This is not take it like the live stream that we did not take that place. So we need to, when Kirk comes back, figure out a way, get you guys to New York and do it. Do the continuous, I think, what is it, 24-hour live podcast? What was the record?
Well, the record is like 48 hours or something.
So you guys got to do, I mean, that's a lot. I was up for 24 and then plus, I don't know, 5 or 6. You start to get a little loopy. So I think you guys can do it, but it definitely wears on you. So Godspeed.
All right. So kind of like Amy Schumer, you guys are claiming parallel thinking. It was just a similar idea that you guys had, but not exactly the same.
I think I helped with the podcast idea.
I don't remember that. I think you were kind of a hindrance in that discussion, if I remember.
No, I think I said, I'm in. So
I don't know. We'll have to go back to the tapes and look at
well,
it.
I'm sure someone will go back to the tapes.
I'm not 100% sure.
This is like one of those situations where I'll probably like reverse cancel myself, where someone will go back and then have it will be a tape of us talking about a live podcast, and I'm vindicated in saying that I was part of the idea to bring that to life, and then I'll like throw in a subtle joke about how coronavirus isn't a big deal because we taped that like early February, and then I'll look like an asshole. So I'm probably
coughing all over
myself. Yes, I'm fucking myself.
There is something, you bring up cancel culture. There's something I worry about with you, and everyone says, "Oh, Big Cat's a nice guy, such a nice guy," and you've always been very nice to me. And when I read like this Ellen DeGeneres story,
yeah,
and my theory there is that she has such a nice image that being a tough boss is kind of what ruined her. And I think that eventually Hank and All Business Pete and these guys are going to come out with these horror stories. Do you suspect that might be in the works?
I don't. I like how you just used Ellen DeGeneres. Your breakdown of is it that she was a tough boss? That's what you think she did nothing wrong? Now listen, I didn't read all of it. All I know is that when Katy Perry comes out and says all the times I've been with Ellen DeGeneres, she's been very nice. That tells me all I have to know, that Ellen DeGeneres is probably one of those people who is nice to everyone on her level and an absolute shithead from anyone below her. So, no, I'm not worried about that, because I think that is probably one of the most despicable character traits you could have. Now, do I bust balls? Of course. Like, we bust balls all the time. And there will be times when I'm sure people will say, "Oh, you're being mean to this person," or, "Oh, this," like we had the interns in the office this week, and we had them all come into the Yak and we introduced them, and one of them was wearing a Notre Dame class ring. I told him to get out. I'm sure someone could look at it and be like, "What?" But obviously, when the cameras are off, we'll bust balls on cameras. But I'll reach out to people and be like, how can I help? So I think it is important to be nice to people when the cameras are off, and it is I actually like watching this happen to someone like Ellen, because that is one of the most despicable character traits a person can have.
Yeah.
In that you only are good to people that you deem on your level, and anyone who can't do something for you is essentially not worth your time. That's just a terrible, terrible personality trait to have. And I think I've vindicated myself as not that by being on this show with you here right now.
This is excellent evidence for anyone that claims that.
Right.
You were always
right.
Well, you were always like overly nice to me. Like when I was an intern, you reached out to me and, "Hey, if you ever need help, like you help me out with blogs and shit like that." But does that get annoying? Because I feel like people, and maybe even I did this, but I feel like it opens the door for people to be like, "Hey, can you help me with this? Hey, can you retweet this for me? Hey, can you do this?"
No, I think I've said this before, but I basically, the way I treat it is, I don't help everyone. I'm not going to sit here and be like, "Oh my God, I'm fucking, walking around helping." No, of course not. Like, I think we do a pretty good job. Kevin helps a lot of people. I think Kevin helps a lot of people. I help a lot of people. They don't really overlap as much, which is probably a good thing. But I always treat it as, if you show an interest in working hard and, wanting to succeed, I'll show an interest back in you. So there are definitely times where I'll see people that don't really want it. And I think that the one thing about the growth of Barstool that we kind of have screwed up sometimes, when you do a company from fucking, one person to 6 people, 7 people, 8 people for a really long time, and then you blow up to 200 people over the course of 3 or 4 years, the people that you add from 9 to 200, there's going to be people in there who it's going to be a 9 to 5 job for them. And that's okay. That's any startup. Like people, the people that you add after the 9, people that's, were here for a long time, or 10, I don't even know what the actual number is. They're never going to be invested as much as the people who were there at the beginning, both equity and, sweat and labor hours. That's just a reality of it. So, there are sometimes I'll see people who this is a 9 to 5 to them, and that's okay. But I'm also not going to be like, I'm going to try to help you as much as possible, because I know how hard it is, and you got to work extra hard to succeed in this weird, stupid business. So the people who show that they really want to work at it and try to get to that next level, I will always try to give them a helping hand. But I mean, listen, there's definitely been times where someone's asked me for something and I've probably missed the text or ignored it. And like, it's not intentional, but yeah, of course there's times when I'm busy, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I genuinely want to see people succeed because honestly, at some point I don't want to be doing this. I would rather be doing like a podcast once or two. And I don't mean your show right now,
but well, you don't want to be doing this either. I understand.
No, what I mean is I don't want to be working at all hours all the time.
Yeah.
I want someone else to be doing that, and I can be doing my thing where it's like whether it's a few podcasts here and there, but also helping other people's. Like there's got to be at least a second phase to the career where it's like maybe I take a little bit step back, you know, a little more family time, not on 24/7, and let other people do it. So I want people to get to that level. I want people to succeed so that I have the ability to do that.
What would your one thing be? Like if you were going to if you said, I'm just going to do one thing that I do now, would it be like the gambling stuff with Dave? Would it be Pardon My Take, the Yak? Like what would your focus be?
I mean, it would probably, if I could do, I mean, it would probably be Pardon My Take, the Yak, and now I'm adding like all these things, but it would be a show. So if you wanted to say you had to like, if I had to wipe away everything that I have right now and start a new, it would be a show that's a daily show or 3 times a week. That's pretty similar to everything I do right now, whether it be just bullshitting. I do like, you know, working with a bunch of people. I like ensembles, like, even, you know, whether you talk about the Yak, there's 6 of us. PMT is now, you know, it's me and PFT, but it's also Hank. It's also Billy Football. It's also Jake Marsh. I do get a lot of joy out of like, there's the essence of, it's like being at a bachelor party with all your friends and sitting on a couch on a Saturday morning, cracking jokes. Like that experience, that like vibe, I think is the essence of male friendship. And that's what I try to replicate in my shows. And I think people can relate to that. So that, you know, ensemble, like let's shoot the shit, whether it be if there's no sports on, we can talk about this or that, or we crack jokes on each other, or bust balls, whatever it may be, find something to laugh about because there's a million things you can laugh about every day.
I do want to ask about the Yak. Well, first of all, we were talking about like tough bosses. I was listening to the Yak today. And a kid came on that's a producer for Foreplay or something. Brendan, is that his name?
Yes.
And you guys said that he had only been there for 6 months, but he's like the longest tenured Foreplay producer ever. Yes. And is Riggs like an asshole to work for? He seems like a nice guy.
I don't know what it is. I think it's like it's a cursed position. I'm dating myself here, although there's older Minifans, which I appreciate. I think the producer for Foreplay is essentially the drummer for Spinal Tap. So that character just keeps dying. Like there have been producers for Foreplay that have been here. I've seen one for like a week and then gone. One got fired. Like it's not all Riggs, but it's just when he said he was there for 6 months, I definitely was like, oh shit, 6 months. That's a long time, knowing that the Foreplay producer usually isn't there for that long.
Well, he's not going to be there tomorrow. Now that now that there's been evidence of him existing, he's going to be wiped off the face of the planet.
Right, exactly. But that was funny.
But the thing I wanted to ask about the Yak is there's been a lot of, this might have been the biggest story of biggest conspiracy of the last few weeks. KB calls the Kirk Minahan show all the time.
Yes.
And you guys are trying to put out there, and KB is in on this conspiracy for some reason. He's pretending like he doesn't call. What the fuck is the deal?
So he doesn't call.
I think you're wrong about that.
So we've had the KB.
He works. Listen, KB works at a motorcycle shop in Hingham. And commutes from Brooklyn.
No, you're wrong. See, you have there's we've had two different. Nick works at a motorcycle shop in Harlem, and KB goes from New York to Massachusetts every day to work as a day laborer. Intern Justin is writing that in there. So who is this guy who keeps calling it? He's good. He keeps calling into your show saying he's KB.
It's KB. Can I tell you my conspiracy theory?
Well, yeah, go ahead.
I think that KB calls our show. He's a big fan of the Kirk Minahan show, big listener. And I think because, again, you're such a nice guy, and you also kind of want to keep this image of the Yak to be, sort of down the middle, that I think you're now paying people off to pretend to be a fake KB that is a fan of the Kirk Minahan show, so that no one in that office hates KB and takes sides.
No, I have. I don't have enough time to find someone to pay him off. Now, KB,
or is that the perfect excuse?
See, here's the thing: KB is a mind unlike I've never been around a mind like KB's. He is. He keeps you on your toes. So KB could have rigged this whole thing. It could be a bit where KB's calling in to your show, actual KB's calling into your show, and then he's having random KB's call into our show. That I will absolutely buy because KB is crazy. He's crazy, and you can't trust him, but in a good way. Like he never, like guys, you could trust him if you ever like, hey, my life's on the line, I need your help. I would absolutely trust him. But for anything else, anything that's deemed inconsequential,
right,
he is as devious as it gets. So there's something afoot. I still think the real KB's not calling into your show, but I'll look into it.
I'll play your game for now, but I think you're behind this somehow. It stinks. It stinks to high heavens, and I'm not buying it.
Okay.
If you had to pick someone on that show, the Yak, just because there's so many people, who do you like doing radio with the best? Like, is there someone you have better chemistry with than the others?
Well, Ron and I have done, we during the quarantine we did 2 hours of radio a day, just the two of us with, nothing to talk about. So he probably, and also Ron and I have been doing the Yak almost 3 years now together because it started as Ron, myself, Jared, and Stephen Shea. So Stephen Shea's been with us since day one. Then Jared went to CCK and Coley came in. Then Coley moved back to Boston, and then I made it an ensemble. So Roan would be the guy who, we've been doing the show together for a very long time. So we have effortless conversations. We drive in every morning together. So and the show kind of just goes on. It's kind of similar to PFT. When PFT and I are sitting at our desks across from each other, we essentially are doing the show just sitting there because it's just kind of effortless and always cracking jokes. And that's kind of go back to what the perfect show is that vibe of just sitting around and people just kind of shooting the shit. And I mean, it's similar to your guys' show, that male friendship that comes out.
Yeah. We're all such good friends on our show. We're all buddies. We go and hang afterwards. We go to lunch together. And
I think Kirk cares about you guys a lot.
Oh, I'm certain that's not true.
I see Kirk to me has got a tough exterior. Hold on, let me do a Kirk Minahan real quick.
Okay.
Kirk's now this is don't take this out of context because I'm doing a Kirk Minahan.
Okay, all right.
Actually, no. Give me any person in the public sphere, and I'll do a Kirk Minahan of them. Give me just a celebrity or a sports person.
Tom Brady.
Okay. Tom Brady, I got no problem with him. I have no problem with him. He's a nice enough guy, but he's utterly talentless, and he's an absolute bore. But I have no problem with him. I wish him well. That's my favorite Kirk is he sets everything up with, nice enough guy, and I got no problem with him, and then he just eviscerates the person.
I'm a fan of the guy. I like him.
But again, I don't care if you like him. You like him. That's fine.
But it is. I mean, no, he's been good to us for sure. But I don't think he would have any interest in seeing us in a social setting. Like, hey, we're not.
No, that's
friendly.
Different. No, but that's not. Listen, that's not. I'm kind of with Kirk on that. I'm older than a lot of people at the Barstool office. There's this idea that we're all friends. I'm friends with people, but I'm not going out for drinks. You know what I mean? I'm a dad. I'm not going out and being like, hey, what are you guys doing this weekend? Let's go get fucked up. So that I'm with Kirk, but I do think he cares about you guys deep down, even though he'll maybe pretend that he doesn't.
Are you noticing kind of an age gap now that you're a little older? You're a dad. There's a bunch of fucking 20-somethings in there now. And then all the shit that's happened the last few months, have you noticed more of a separation in age?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely notice it, but I also think that age is one of those things. If you're just open about it, if you don't pretend to be someone you're not, if I'm going around trying to pretend like I'm 22 years old, it'd be weird. I'm open about it. I'll tell you what I remember, the nostalgia I remember, but I'll also tell you hey, I don't really understand TikTok. I do, but I don't. You know what I mean? I get it. I watch it. I'm not a grandpa, but I also don't understand the magnitude of it and the fact that there are true TikTok celebrities or something like that. So But I think if you're just open about it, you poke fun at yourself, it's not a big deal. But yeah, it is sometimes interesting to like put into perspective that I'm like, 15 years older than some people at the office now.
Yeah, it's weird. Even I'm starting to get there. I'll be 29 this month. And there's times where now, because like we talk about it a lot, and Kirk says this a lot, where it's like, well, I'm not supposed to get that. I'm 45, whatever. And I'm getting to the age where now I'm like, I'm complaining about things or saying like, why is this way? And then I'm realizing like, I'm 29 years old. Maybe I'm not supposed to like the same shit that I liked when I was 22.
I'd say so. It's yeah. If you don't look back at when you were like 21, 22, 23 years old and be like, holy shit, I was an asshole, or like, man, I'm embarrassed by that. Like that's just getting older. And like I bet you I'll do it again in 5 years. You actually mentioned on a show, you remembered this when we were doing the whole, they were going back, the resist programming was going back and finding those videos. And I said on one of the shows, like, I will go back and look at tweets from 2 weeks ago and be like, what? That wasn't funny. That's kind of how it works. It's moving so fast. Everything moves so fast now. And, I don't want to go back into, relitigate that entire episode, but I do truly believe that people don't give credit to how fast the internet and culture is moving. And it's not just, you can't just be like, oh, 5 years ago wasn't a long time ago. 5 years ago was a really fucking long time ago. Yeah. Like a really long time ago when you think about everything that has happened since then. So we are in hyperspeed when it comes to culture and things people do and what's cool, what's in, what's out. Like it is unlike any other time.
Well, someone pulled up a blog I wrote. So I guess like when the Redskins changed their name, I didn't really give a fuck. I was like, well, whatever. And someone pulled up a blog that I wrote in like 2014 or something, where I was so passionately defending why the Redskins shouldn't change their name. And now I'm kind of like, you know what? I don't really care. If people are that offended by it, if it's considered a racial slur at the end of the day, do I really give a fuck? No, I don't think they should be forced to change the name, but I don't really care. And people were like, well, you're a pussy. You're not arguing that opinion anymore. I'm like, no, I just changed over the years because the world has changed, kind of.
Right, and I mean, your guys' show, a lot of times people are like, oh, you're middleman Dan. You like have an opinion about this. I truly don't care about a lot of these things. Like I care in the fact that I understand they're important. But for example, so, people tweeting me being like, why do you watch the NBA still? Like all this politics and kneeling, and I'm like, I can't remember the last time I turned on a game and watched like the pregame. I turn on the game when the game starts. You know what I mean? Like I'm not even and what the fuck? I'm probably on my phone when things are going on before. Like you have to be such a loser to care about some of the things people care about right now and being like, I'm never watching this again. I just don't know how you have the energy. I do though. I don't personally have the energy. I do appreciate that you guys at least discuss the issues because I want to hear people talk about it. But a lot of times when I'm like, don't have an opinion on it, it's because I just can't muster myself to care about everything. I really can't. Yeah.
It's not what you care about as much as just the games or the sport, whatever. But like, I mean, my whole thing with the whole Kaepernick and kneeling and all that shit is, people get on both sides. The majority of people during the national anthem are taking a piss or drinking a beer or shoving a hot dog down their fucking face. Like a lot of it is, you guys got some shit when you said, what was the issue? Oh, the stuff from Hong Kong. I think either you or PFT said the majority of people arguing this on Twitter don't really care about it. And I saw some people tagging me saying, like, look what they said. But I get what you were saying. I get what you were trying to say is that there are people that want to be outraged about cancel culture and that shit.
They just it's a competition. Yeah, it's trying to win points online. Like I think there's so many disingenuous people all over the place arguing from every side when it comes to every issue. Like people aren't arguing from a genuine spot, and people don't have discussions anymore. Like they just don't. So I kind of opt out of all of that because I'm like, I know I can tell when someone's being disingenuous, and I'm not going to engage because what's the point? You're just trying to win points. I don't really care enough to argue this, so I'm out. And really, I mean, Twitter is just a terrible medium now. Like it's horrendous. I just have really focused on like I'm gonna make my jokes. I'm gonna keep it lighthearted. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna fucking do the like the big time shit on Twitter, because there is no winning a Twitter argument, and nothing that you ever tweet will ever get like universal praise, because someone will take it one way or the other and then, retweet it or copy and paste it and be like, look at this asshole. It's just not worth it. It's not worth the time.
Do you think on the show we focus on that shit too much? Because like KFC is now taking the angle of it doesn't exist. Cancel culture doesn't exist. These guys are fucking out of their minds. But that opinion might, at times, at least for me, might make me double down and be like, "You're fucking crazy. Look at this." But as like a guy who checks in the show once in a while, do you think we talk about it too much?
No, but, well, to the cancel culture doesn't exist argument, I disagree. People will say I'm middleman Dan for this, but I kind of disagree with both of your guys' side, like KFC and you, and it's somewhere in the middle to me because, like I just said, there's disingenuous actors on both sides. There are people who have made it out to be like cancel culture is the greatest, like is basically putting a life sentence in prison. It's not. And there are people who want to cancel people and basically deplatform them for the smallest thing. Those people are assholes too. So yeah. I think you guys are authentic. So I don't think it's weird for you guys to talk about it like that. It would be weird for me to do a whole show talking about cancel culture because that's just not me. So I enjoy listening to anyone talk about something they're passionate about and authentically interested in. So that's really what it comes down to. That's the test for me. And that's why I don't like talking about the cancel culture stuff or getting into politics. But if you guys are going to talk about it, I'll listen because it's authentic and you actually care and you're actually interested. And I think that's really where everything falls. That's where it goes back to the disingenuous actors versus, genuine actors, like people who are genuinely want to discuss it. I'm in. I want to listen. I don't want to engage, but I want to listen. People who just want to do I want to win, Twitter wars, get the fuck out of here. I'm not interested in it.
Yeah, and I mean, Kirk comes from such an interesting perspective because he's dealing with a guy where you like you say, it's not a life sentence. And at times there is an overreaction when it happens to celebrities and shit. A lot of them they lose a job, but they end up being fine. But there are regular people that have to deal with it that we don't even think about. That shit happens on Facebook and they lose their job and it's never a news story. But like with Kirk, you've got a guy that's literally driven him fucking nuts. That doesn't relent.
Correct.
And, I don't know if every guy's going to be a Bob Murchison, but that stuff does exist out there in the world, which people kind of ignore.
People are assholes when they get to be behind their computer and behind their phone. That's just the way social media works. I mean, I cringe every time, there are people when you'll see a video of someone being just horribly racist online, like truly racist, and you say to yourself, this person's a terrible person. And then you'll see the retweet of like, look at this person. Let's what to do, Twitter. Let's ruin their life. Right. And I'm like, I cringe at that. And I look, I don't want, like racist people shouldn't get an ability to, just spew their racism everywhere because they're assholes. And if they're in it's different. Now we're really getting into it. But, like, obviously, if someone is outed as an enormous racist and they have a job in, like, government or policing or, something where lives or hospitals, like, whatever it may be, then obviously. But if the guy's, like, a fucking roofer and we're like, let's do our thing, Twitter, I'm always like, what are we doing? What's the point? You're not even thinking this through. Why not talk to the person? Why not try to fucking get the person to understand? Because guess what's going to happen now? You're probably going to get the guy fired, and then they're going to be like, fuck cancel culture, and even go further to their already, like, terrible beliefs.
Yeah, and then there's also a line of, we can say it's definitely racist, but then a longer video might come out that shows it was a fucking joke or, like, put more context to it. Right. So it's hard to decide what actually is racist and what is worthy of that, which is why I think everything should kind of fly. But is the uncomfortableness you feel when we're talking about shit like that, is that kind of why you didn't like the Portnoy Trump interview, or was it more what I said? Because I think I kind of had your back when we were talking about this, where I thought it was more that you weren't asked was the problem. When you were that's a big thing, and you were told you were going to be asked and you weren't.
And guess what? Dave apologized to me, and my mentions were a fucking dumpster fire for an entire weekend. I was getting a tweet every like 5 seconds calling me a bitch and a pussy, but that's part of the business. You know, I'm a tough. Like the one thing I learned through all of it is that I've gotten a lot thicker skin in the last decade than I like 5 years ago. I would have responded to everyone trying to win an argument and fight with them. Instead, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to tweet about the Cubs and just keep moving. So, yeah, but it was the vast majority of that was the fact that I found out about Dave being at the White House via people texting me being like, Barstool got an interview with Trump, ? Like, that's how I found out. Like, people asked, people outside the company knew before me. And that was I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, I thought this was different. So, and Dave apologized, Erica apologized, Jay apologized, and we're good. Like, that's the other part. People who are like, oh, well, like 2 weeks later being like, you're a bitch. Like, dude, I've moved on. Like, I'm a big boy. I said what I had to say. I wanted to say what I had to say because guess what? That's what we do. We talk about that stuff. I said it. And then I moved on. Like, now we're going to move on. And guess what? I think we're going to be better for it. I think we're going to be a better company for it. And that's really kind of where it all falls down.
Can I ask you why? Because whenever you guys are talking about the hierarchy, it came up when Dave was talking to me where he was like, Gaz said this and Dan said this and Erica said this. And I've always wondered, why isn't KFC involved in that group?
Well,
because he was kind of with you guys at the very beginning.
I mean, Kevin's been here before me. I mean, Kevin, I said this Kevin, what Kevin has done for my career, I will never be able to repay him because he was the one who pushed me to do KFC radio with him in Feidelberg and like coming out of my shell, doing a podcast for that many years, getting that many reps, a very, very funny podcast, which still is very, very good today. But like Kevin, what he's done for my career and done for Barstool, I will never be able to repay him. He is so instrumental. And I think he is still part of it. I do think and Kevin will even tell you this, the gambling thing has changed things a little. You know, like Kevin's not a gambler. So the Penn deal, I'm a gambler and Dave's a gambler. So that is definitely a difference. You know what I mean? Like when Dave and I are working on like, building, the gambling app, like Kevin's not going to be involved in that because he's not a gambler. But everything else that where Barstool is today, Kevin is just as responsible, if not probably more responsible for than I am because of everything he did back in the day and everything he does today.
You think he has any resentment towards you guys at all for that?
I don't think resentment. I think
frustration
if you ask him honestly, he's probably like, I wish things went a little, I wish I was a gambler or I wish this was a little different, but Kevin is, he is a team player through and through. Like I truly mean that. And that's the other thing. Like obviously the last couple of weeks have been weird because it was the first time that I was very vocally out like against Dave and Erica. But if you think that's the first time that Dave and I have fought, like you're crazy. You're crazy. If you think it's the first time that like Kevin, Dave, and I know all the Minute fans are going to get upset that I say this. K Marco as well. The four of us have been doing this and together for a very long time, and there have been fights and there have been disagreements, and I actually think it's a testament to this company that everyone kind of from the beginning in that like core group is still here. And I count Gaz and Hank in that too, like and Feidelberg. Like that is a core group that you don't really see in today's media. Someone has gone away, someone has left, someone is, quit, fired, whatever it may be. So that's not the first time we've disagreed. It won't be the last. But I think at the end of the day, we all kind of have the same goal and we all respect each other to a level that it's okay. We just say what we say and then we move on.
Well, since you brought up K Marco, I wasn't really going to ask you about him. Will you just say fire K Marco so we can move on?
Absolutely not.
Oh, you're
I can't. Listen,
oh, come on.
Listen, I love the Minute fans. I listen to the show. I think that we're going to get to this, how you can change your opinion in the Barstool world. I do listen to the show. Like I talk to Kirk all the time. I listen to the show. I enjoy the show. I totally get where you guys are coming from. K Marco's been a friend for a decade. Right. It's crazy. Like I understand everything, why people are upset, why people are angry. but I can't just go and be like, hey, yeah, and I almost said it right there, and you were going to clip it and fuck me. I'm not
You're good.
Do
You're
that.
a pro.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But I very much enjoy the Minifans, but that's one thing. I think they should respect that too, because the Minifans are the most loyal fans, right? So they should respect that I have loyalty to a friend, and they might disagree, but at least respect that.
Has he just left Twitter? What the hell happened to him? I see him tweet once in a while.
You guys, I think when something happens, you have to make a decision very quickly. Like when I went on the Yak and talked about Dave 2 weeks ago, and that video went like crazy, 10,000 retweets or whatever it was, and I was getting tagged and everything, and everyone's calling me a bitch and a pussy. You have to make a decision almost like within the first 2 hours. It's like that show, like the first 48 or whatever. Was that a show?
Yes.
You have to make a decision within the first 2 hours. Like, am I going to go away, or am I going to tweet through this? And if you tweet through it, it's going to suck for a little bit. It does. Like, believe me, it sucked for 2 days for me because it was every tweet. I was getting tagged. People were fucking being assholes. They were being real fucking dicks. But I just tweeted through it. And then you kind of come out of it and you're like, you know what? Let's just keep it moving because everything moves quickly. Now, if you go away and then you decide to come back out of nowhere, those first few days, you've almost just delayed the first 2 days that everyone has to deal with if they're going to get shit on online. You know what I mean? If you delay it, it's not going to go away. It's just when you come back, it's going to happen and you're going to have to deal with it for a couple days. But he should probably tweet through it.
Now, you can defend these guys up and down, but what I wonder is, do you have the same defense of Kirk Minahan when his name comes up in the office? Or me, for some reason, who people hate, which I can't understand.
I defend Kirk, yes. I mean, listen, when Kirk, I tell people I listen. And look, Kirk has made enemies in the office. I'm not like in the in crowd all the time in the office. Right. I know that that's weird to say, but like like I said, I'm a little bit older, so it's a little bit different for me. But I will defend him. I'll also say when he goes too far and when he's being a jerk. But he also admits that, and I think Kirk is honest about that when he ramps it up too much. You, on the other hand, I don't. I have defended you even on the rundown, probably not like super vocally, but you just kind of
whispered.
It's been like your die has been cast. I don't really know if you can fix it.
No, but at this point it's kind of funny. Like
yes,
I think Portnoy tweeted about me the other day, like some
he hates you.
Golf video or something. Yeah, but I'm never gonna do. I did some. There are some things that I understand why he dislikes me. I don't think I did anything to deserve full hatred, but I also know that I'll never do anything to win it back, so there's no point in worrying about it, really.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Yeah, he hates you. He fully hates you.
Well, that's such a shame. But what has there been anyone that's been in that, like in the boat that I'm in, that's ever won him back? I can't think of any examples.
No. Yeah, no, you're fucked, dude.
It's an impossible task.
Yeah, you're fucked. I wouldn't even say he like he obviously has a storied history with Smitty, but I think deep down
he kind of likes Smitty.
He kind of has, like, if you really peeled it back, he'd be like, yeah, I kind of like Smitty. Yeah. There's none of that for me. 0.0%.
I wonder why, but
I mean, you've done some things, you've talked some shit, so
I guess you're right. I got to stop saying I wonder why. I know why.
That's why. The fact you saying I wonder why is why.
I do know why. I just don't. Yeah. I don't agree with it, I guess.
Okay, that's fair. Yes. You got to speak with your chest.
Yeah.
Say that instead. Yes.
How do we get me out of this? Because you're confident. You're a nice guy, but you're a confident guy. I'm a nice guy with zero confidence.
You can't.
I'll never get out of it, you don't think?
Well, here's the other thing is that I do believe that if people listen to your guys' show more in the office, they would understand it. Like the perfect example is Stephen Shea is one of my favorite people at Barstool, and I consider him a close friend. And I love him. Like, love him. Genuinely love him. Kirk was going off on a rant once, and I think Kirk said, like, I want Stephen Shea to get hit by a bus.
Right. Yeah. I believe he said, he works in traffic. I hope he runs into traffic.
Yes. Yes. And I think Stephen even said to me, like, what should I do about this? I'm like, just listen to it. Like, you got to understand he's not actually saying, and maybe he is, but from my perspective, he's not actually saying he wants you to die.
Right.
And this is a perfect clip that Kirk, when he does come back, will have Steve clip and be like, "No, I do want him to die. Fuck you, Big
And I
Cat.
want his
You
kids
pussy.
to die.
You fucking pussy, Big Cat. Nice guy, but a pussy." But yeah, I think the context and understanding the show is lost on a lot of people because you have to listen to it. Even Robbie Fox, who I love Robbie Fox, and I think he's a very, very talented guy. He even said, like, I read a quote, I got mad, or I saw a tweet, got mad, and then I listened to the show, and I get it a little bit more. And no one's gonna, people that really you guys have clashed with, I think there's probably points where you can't salvage it, but I do think that listening to the show and understanding it a little bit more helps.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that happens. Like, even today, I was getting tweets that Jerry Callahan, Kirk's old partner, was talking shit about me. So I went and listened to it before I reacted. And they talked about someone who was blind and said my name and acknowledged that I was also blind.
That it happens every day on Twitter.
What do you think I'm going to say about this?
I mean, listen, I've had it happen to me where I get mad, where I'll see a quote and, like, I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. And I still will sometimes get caught and be like, fuck this person. But yes, the knee-jerk reaction that everyone has online, if everyone just takes like one beat, it like half of these things would probably be half as volatile.
Yeah. So did you guys make it through all right? Was the lack of sports are back, kind of. It feels like I think Portnoy said it feels like spring training or something. It really doesn't feel. Do you?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I watched Red Sox Yankees the other night and just did not give a fuck.
Oh, I totally disagree with that. I've watched pretty much every NBA game. They feel like intense. They feel active. I've watched every Cubs game. I'm enjoying that. Like, yeah, I totally disagree with that. I think sports being back, it's as good as it can be. Like, obviously, it's never going to be 100% where there's fans and everything. Yeah. But I'm very, very excited for the NBA playoffs. Very excited for the Stanley Cup playoffs. Baseball, who knows if they're going to be able to make it? But I've been watching every game. So yeah, I totally agree. Dave he's not watching sports right now. And that's okay. He does this sometimes where he goes off into the woods. I said it's like a stray cat. He just goes off in the woods, and you can't force him to come back, but he'll come back. He'll start watching sports again. He'll start gambling again, and all will be right with the world. Yeah, but I mean, it felt a little, at least baseball felt a little watered down to me. But can I ask you this at least? I get the crowd noise because it feels weird to watch a silent sporting event. But the fake fans that you're looking at, who is that possibly for? I know my eyes aren't great, but yeah,
do people care about that?
I think it's visually it's kind of funny. No, but people don't care about it.
For a minute, it's kind of funny, but you got to go through 60 games of this or something.
That's one of those things that I can't muster up opinion about. Like, I don't even notice it enough to be like, fuck this. You know what I mean?
Well, it's gotten, like, the few games I've watched, at least baseball, the broadcasters always feel the need to acknowledge it. And they're like, hey, embrace the weird this year. It's going to get wacky.
Right.
And we're having fun. It's like, what is fun about this? Who possibly gives a shit?
Yeah, I'll chalk that one up to the one of, like, as older I get, there's just a certain amount of things I can care about. That's definitely not one of them. But to answer your original question, we were fine without sports. Like, I actually, in a weird way, I'd rather have sports than not sports. But I think watching the whole content world outside of Barstool, I think Barstool, we had a bunch of people who were able to do really good things and adapt. But I said right from the start of the quarantine, I'm like, this is actually going to be kind of fun because there's going to be a lot of people who run out of ideas in like 10 days. And we're built for this. Like, we can do fun things. We started doing it in Dungeons and Dragons. Like, we can talk about things and find ways to talk about things and interview people. And our numbers never dipped. So it's like, I'm proud of that. Like, that we're able to adapt to a world where there's no sports, even though we're a sports podcast.
Right. Were you, I'm trying to think how to phrase this. If you couldn't, for some reason, talk about sports, if you did a show, if you joined the Kirk Minahan Network or something, where there was no sports talk allowed, what would the Dan Katz podcast be about?
I mean, kind of is. Like, it kind of is just riffing on comedy and just ridiculous, absurd thoughts. So it'd be that. It would just be absurd thoughts, hypothetical. I mean, KFC radio at the beginning is kind of that. So yeah, it would be a little bit more weird and bizarre, and it would probably be a little bit harder because I don't think I am the funniest guy. I don't think that I have like unbelievable comedic chops. I think when you add in the sports part, it makes it fully rounds me out. But yeah, I'd find a way. I think I'd survive.
All right, I don't want to take up too much of your time because I appreciate you doing this. I figure an hour is pretty much good. But if you're kind of won over by me, if I've charmed you, and you're realizing,
listen, Mike,
you're realizing PFT's
you haven't charmed me. I feel bad for you.
Why?
That's why I'm here.
Why does every like you were very nice to me to come on, but every compliment of me ends with a but. And it's
because it's the Kirk Minahan way. Like, Mike, listen,
bullshit.
I actually think that you're pretty good on the show, and you've done a good job of disagreeing with Kirk. But you make too many weird noises, and the fucking claw is disgusting. It makes me want to puke in my mouth.
What's disgusting? The claw is a normal. I just move my hand.
It's gross. It is so gross. It's so gross.
Well, despite your insults here, I did have. If you want to make this a regular thing. There were some names suggested for a regular show.
Okay, let's hear them.
There's kind of a theme to them, which I don't know that I care for. But the Cat and the Fat was one.
Wait,
again,
so who?
Because it doesn't quite work because you get fat shamed as well. But in this scenario,
by the way,
I'm the fat one.
I saw the picture of you with your shirt off in Maine. Mm-hmm. Your nipples are just as large as mine, my friend. You probably don't know this because you're blind.
Oh, I know. I'm aware.
Let me see them.
Right now?
Yeah. Let me see them.
Why not?
We'll show them. Oh my God, yours might be bigger.
Yeah.
Look, I'm showing mine too right now, just so you know.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I can't see it. But.
So maybe it's just the nip show.
See, here's the sales pitch for a Mike and Big Cat show. You would be the skinny guy.
Ooh, I like that.
That's kind of a world you might want to live in. You would look svelte.
I like that.
Big and Blind was the other one.
Okay.
Which is less insulting to me. I like the alliteration.
Right.
And then this one, Pardon My Cake, which I guess the implication would be that I would be constantly shoving cake into my face.
It's just a video.
Because I'm so fat.
We just play the audio from cake farts for the entire podcast underneath us talking. Yep. I like that one. Yeah. Pardon My Cake.
All right. So Pardon My Cake will be. We'll work on that. Maybe Tuesdays and Thursdays, since you do the other that little show the other 3 days. Oh, yeah. I would be remiss.
That's right. Yeah, that's another Kirk. We're never going to be as big as Pardon My Take, but that's fine. We have the best fans in the world. Like it's a choice. I love it. I fucking love it. I hope he comes back soon.
I do think he will be. I think there's some skepticism out there, but I hope he's back as well. It'll be tough. I mean, if he decides it's not the best thing for him, then that's a different issue. But I just have seen how much he loves the audience and how much he loves doing this shit. So I do hope he comes back soon.
I'm going to let's workshop a text. I'm going to send him after this. I think I'm going to send him something like, hey, I hope you're doing well. I just did Blind Mike's podcast. If you don't come back soon and I have to do it again, I'm joining you.
Could you use a bunkmate?
Yeah, right. Okay. Do you think he'd appreciate that?
I think he would very much. I think that would lift his spirit.
All right. I'm going to send him that after this.
I would be last thing before I let you go. I almost forgot. You came out in a staunch public defense of Steve Robinson pissing in bottles.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think you understand what you're defending.
No, I totally understand what I'm defending. And I also, I did see a few people saying that I didn't actually piss in the bottles for the video that you guys played at the drive-in. I 100%, you can ask Liam, my producer for PMT. He took the video. I pissed in that bottle. I am absolutely in favor of everything Steve's doing. Steve told the story because I was talking to him about how I almost got – the only time I've almost gotten fired from Barstool was when I refused to stop pissing in the sink. Right. When we were at our old office, there were 2 bathrooms for like 75 people. And sometimes I just had to piss. And it's like, hey, I'm on radio. Like, I have to take a piss. I'd go piss in the sink. So the solution there was I bought a bunch of jugs, and I started pissing in the jugs at my desk. People got mad at that. And I was like, what do you want from me? This is just how it's going to have to work. I'm totally – like, Steve's staring you guys down while he pisses in a bottle during the show, that's just his commitment to the podcast.
Well,
you should want people. Kirk should want people like that around him who are so committed to putting out a product that they will sit there with their penis in their hands, pissing in a bottle while they stare you down, and like the show must go on.
You make some fair points. And first, I'd like to say you should definitely, if that was your piss, you should get checked out because you're medically very
I'm
unwell.
Right now, Mike. I'm pissing right now into a glass.
I don't deserve any respect. I deserve to be pissed at while a man is talking to me.
Yes.
But my point is, Steve at any moment could say, and he's done this before, where he says, I have to go to the bathroom. Sometimes he whispers, I have to go to the bathroom. So
right.
that was all to avoid a moment that would not be that big of an issue. There's no reason for it's not like live radio, where if you say you're doing live radio, that I can understand a little more. Steve can just get up and walk away.
Yeah, but I kind of get it from Steve because it's also a little embarrassing that a man – how old is Steve? Like 30 years old?
31, I believe, yeah.
And he can't hold a piss for 2 hours? Like
it's very strange. See, you're coming around.
Well, no. I think he's doing the right thing. There's a separate issue that his bladder makes him less of a man.
Right.
That 100% is true. Like he's the dude who, when you go on a road trip, asks to stop an hour and a half in the car ride, and I want to punch him in the nose. That's a separate issue.
Right. Oh, you know what?
If Steve starts pissing in the car, in the bottle, like that would be my answer. If Steve and I were in a car together and we hit the road, and 2 hours in, he's like, hey, can we pull over and take a piss? And I'm like, no, dude, absolutely not. Or alternately, if he's like, hey, I have to piss. You mind if I piss in this Gatorade bottle right now? I'd be like, go for it, dude. Good call. So that's how I will always, it's just piss. Who cares? You can't see him. He's sitting behind a desk, right?
Right.
Yeah, so you're fine.
You know, I think that's why you've risen to the level you have and why you have the reputation you do. We've come to a common middle. After all this, I think we've come to a common middle ground on this issue. And I appreciate and I respect it.
Yeah, I mean, people need to stop shaming. People need to stop shaming any type of bodily function like that. Come on, Steve is working his ass off, and you can. I'll finish with a Kirk.
Okay.
You can say a million things about Steve Robinson. You can say he's a whack job. You can say he's got a punchable face. Mm-hmm. You can say he's way too tall for the body weight. His throw is weird.
A liar.
The SEC a liar. All these things. But you can't say he's not committed to the Kirk Minahan show.
It's very true. Dan Katz, thank you so much, man.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
Kirk, hope you're back soon. Goodbye, everybody.